We did it, Spud. 3 weeks of the diet. Congratulations.
Oh yeah, we did it. Yeah. You're looking slimmer.
I feel slimmer. Although it's interesting. My neck is definitely a bit less. Like, you know, I've noticed. Oh, I do have some sort of jawline. That's interesting.
I'm not just round.
Yeah, it's not just that my ears didn't continue to my shoulders. You know, it's not quite defined,
you know,
but there's something in there.
I come from the line of the Mongols, so that's why my face is rounder. You know, I'm not fat. You know, they all have round faces. That's it. Attila the Hun. You know, he's my great granddad. That's it. You know, and he is for a lot of people. Isn't it like 1 in every 6 or 1 in every 16 people? I don't remember.
It's something really ridiculous though.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, he just raped the fuck out of countries with women, obviously. Awful.
Who knows what he did in his spare time?
Yeah, I was watching the thing last night. There were some Mongolians on it about the breast milk on the unwell.
Oh yeah, that's a great documentary. I have to say, I really enjoyed it. Have you finished it?
What did I watch last night? The ayahuasca one. The ayahuasca one was good. They've all been very good actually. Except I didn't particularly like the first one about the essential oils because it didn't really go into whether they are or aren't good for you. It focused more on how in America it's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
It's like Jafra and those. What are those plasticky Tupperware type things? Tupperware.
Yeah. And Avon and all multi-level pyramid schemes, all that stuff.
So
it's Unwell on Netflix if people want to check it in. What I really liked about it is it's the most balanced documentary series I've seen in a long while.
Where for sure. It's really.
Here's why this is awesome. Here's why it's terrible. Make your own mind up. And doesn't have a slant. Doesn't have an opinion.
That's exactly it. Like after each episode, you're like, I hate this thing that they do on Netflix is that it jumps into a new one really, really quickly. Hold on now. I want to think about this. And make
give me 5 minutes. Yeah.
Because like the breast milk thing, I was like, nah, that's bollocks. There's no way that's good for grown-ups. Great for children. And I've tried breast milk. It tastes like custard. Well, Aga's breast milk tastes like custard anyway.
Yeah.
Don't know what that says
Sweet
about her. It's
yummy
milk. You know, well, it was yummy. But like, okay, so it's not good for adults. And then some people are like, no, well, actually it might be. And then there's a Swedish guy who does the research. And then there's other people. And you're just like, at the end of it going, I wonder. You know? But that's a sign of a great documentary because you are left to make up your own mind, you know? Whereas something with to say, like, as much as I love Louis Theroux, there's no really ambivalence there at the end. Like, you're just like, oh yeah, that guy's a freak.
Or prisons are bad, or whatever it is. Yeah.
You know,
autism sucks. You know,
or even say the same with, like, say, John Ronson in his publicly shamed thing. Yeah. It's like, okay, these people are fucking arseholes. But then when you learn a bit about them, you're like, shit, they just fucked up. But you're still, you don't come away from it going, that's weighing up the pros and cons of it. It's biased, you know?
Yeah, it's biased. Like, you know what his point of view is and what he's trying to. Whereas with this documentary, which is very rare, there's not that the agenda is just to give you the facts, man, just the facts, you know, or the sides. So it has the doctor saying this is all bullshit, and then it has the next doctor, and it's done well because it's done in sections. It's not like, you know, talking heads opposing each other. There's like a section on this, and it's like you can the essential oil ones. You know that weird family that are huge on YouTube.
The Dr. Z. Yeah, you know they're not though. I looked them up. They only have about 30,000 followers or something.
And what's the million views? Is it or something? Probably a million views.
Gives a shit.
But that thing where you're saying that if you save 2 weeks of your food stamps, you can get one of my courses, and I think that's good value. It's like you're on shaky ground there.
Yeah. What's he saying? Like, if you don't go to Starbucks for 2 weeks, like, I don't go to Starbucks. I can't afford it. Well, I can't afford it, but I don't go there because I'll go 2 doors down where the coffee isn't, you know, raping me.
Yeah.
Starbucks is crazy expensive all over the world. Maybe not in America, but I don't know.
Although I think it's similar. It's like $5 for the big coffee. Like, that's kind of, I think, the standard type.
Yeah, but that's like 20 zlotys here, which is what? That's like 20 zlotys is almost 3 pints in most pubs, 4 pints in cheaper pubs.
Right.
For a coffee. Fuck off.
I was in Costa yet, and the thing that I don't like about Costa, even though I prefer the coffee over Starbucks,
I hope is the coffee, Tommie.
It's the political climate. No, it's the pricing, where it's like the large one is whatever, say it's £4, and the medium one is like
$3.75.
No, 390 or three, and then the small one is 380, and you go, oh come on, some incentive not to have a bucket of milk, please.
And what is it's the price? Isn't it 5 or 10 cents? So where did I see it written up somewhere? Someone had done it. 8 cents. It's the beans that go into your cup of coffee cost about 8 cents. So why are they charging us €4? Because
we piss.
Ask fucking Bobby Kerr on News Talk. He owns Costa Coffee, doesn't he? Do you know him? He's the weekend show on News Talk.
Did I tell you the astrology thing about Costa Coffee? Did I mention that? Yeah. Oh, this is really interesting. This is like perfect news for this podcast. So me and my cousin, we started before the lockdown. We would go for coffee and just kind of talk about stuff because we had a very similar but disparate life path, and we've come to similar conclusions, but enough that we find each other kind of, I suppose, mentally stimulating, which is weird for family, because it's usually mentally tiring. So we said we'd meet up the first time after lockdown and, just test the water, see what it was like, and it was like we went into the Costa and masks, and it was all very odd. But we were asking the guy behind the counter who my cousin knew, and he was like going, why is some of the Costas open and some of them not? If it's the chain or some of them just not reopening. And he goes, no. The guy who owns Costa went to a Chinese astrologer, and the Chinese astrologer told him the exact times when he was to open each one. He says, we had to open the store here at 11:58 on a Tuesday. And he says, and the ones and the other places.
I don't believe that. He's bullshitting you.
No, because I've gone, that's not true. And he goes, it is true. And it's like, that can't be true. He goes, no, it is true. And he wasn't trying to get a laugh, there wasn't anything, and it was just kind of, all right, I think this is true. Because it did open like the other couple of ones, like there's one in the Tesco's here, that did open at weird hours and at different times.
All right. Well, see, what I know about your man Bobby Kerr is, so he has this, it's like a light kind of business show. It's definitely Sundays. It might be Saturdays now as well on News Talk in Ireland. But it's a bit like he'll go around to like Sligo and he talk to different businessmen or stuff like that and what they do. And it's all kind of like new business, new startup. And then it's pretty good. Like it shines a kind of light on small businesses around the country. It's decent enough. It's light though. It's not about stocks and bonds and all that kind of boring stuff. But I'm not sure if he owns the franchise or if he's like that involved where he's doing the
astrology.
Astrology. How many star signs do they have? Is it 12 as well?
I don't think it works quite like that. Is it the Chinese one? I'm not sure.
I'm asking because I know I'm into this Celtic stuff at the minute, and I know they have 13.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's 13 in normal astrology. To just
I know, but see, I'm getting confused because like I'm trying to come up with this, and maybe I'm just overcomplicating these, the card element of the story and that, like, because like I'm reading that Kabbalistic tarot book. Coming back to it, and I'll stop reading it in one go because it's just too much information to take on. But they're like, okay, so this card will represent Chokhmah, and it has the power of Mars, which is also a water thing. And you're like, okay. So that date
Mars is fire, surely.
No, yeah, but like, so that date corresponds, and then it'll say the star sign is Virgo, whatever. So the star sign is that's the date of that. That means that Jupiter is in that star sign then. So what would it be in the Celtic zodiac signs? Okay, and does it all match up? Is that possible? Has anyone done this before? Because if they have, I'll buy your book, because I don't like doing this research myself.
Occultists love all of that. Syncretism is that where we combine different things, so I'm sure someone has at least attempted it. And the other favourite hobby of all occultists is putting every single thing that you can imagine into the Tree of Life. So someone has definitely shoehorned, I don't know, any sort of Celtic thing. There's definitely someone has had a look at it.
No, I'm just trying to find the astrological stuff, really. But then again, I'm not all that mad into it. I just know that the Celts had 13 birth signs, tree signs they're called.
All right.
They were done with the trees. So oak. I'm a vine, which means I get places I shouldn't be going.
Or you're a 3-minute or 3-second video thing from 5 years ago.
Yeah. I don't know what you would be. When are you born?
July.
Yeah, that doesn't help at all. I don't know the signs, you see. I don't know. They're good though, but like it's like the runes. The runes were okay. Some people think we use for divination, but they totally weren't.
They totally
you know?
weren't. Or magic.
It's the same with like these kind of new neo-druids. They use the Ogham for divination, but the Ogham is the letters of that old Irish language, but also the Ogham letters correspond to the names of the trees of the Celtic zodiac. But we don't know if the Celts used a zodiac system in that way, or if it was just that like, oh well, that's, you know, the sun is rising in Virgo this year or whatever the fuck way. It's like thousands of years, whatever. And then like you see people and they're carving the Ogham letters onto bits of twigs and they're throwing them on the ground. It's like, nah, no one did that, man. Nobody did that.
No.
No.
Well, there's probably one guy doing it. Just go, oh, what happens? No, and he goes, oh, nothing happens. I'll not do that anymore. But it goes back to the chaos magic thing. You have to believe it. Like, if the runes definitely work as a divination system, no.
Yeah, it's mad as well. And a lot of people, maybe not a lot, but I've come across some people who have had their HDA tell them to use runes. Yeah. Which is mad for me, because if I'd have been told to use runes, I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. Because me and you have had loads of conversations about them, and I just don't get it. You know, I get it, but I don't get it. I'm like, why? Why don't you just use normal letters? Like, what? So that means a cow and a horse and a chicken, and then the chicken fucks a goat. And that means you're going to have. That means it's going to rain and you're going to have lots of money.
Movable cows, not stationary cows.
No. Oh yes, yeah. One is livestock. The other is. It's like, no, but like what? Surely they could have used more letters instead of just 12 to mean all these different things. Just like remove a squiggle. Grand. Yeah. You know, I don't know.
Or they didn't use it remotely like that at all, and none of these things actually mean anything we've prescribed.
No, but it's like the Irish Ogham writing was. All it was used for was to denote who owned the piece of property. That was it.
Yeah.
You know, that was literally it. Like, you know. But whatever. Like, use it for divination if it works. Fuck it, works. Yeah. Go for it. You know, why not? Come here. This.
Oh, Damien Echols.
Damien Echols book. It's very short, isn't it?
I want to start this conversation by saying I really like Damien Echols. I think he's a fab guy. I didn't like this book.
No, it's disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah. It definitely, I did the audiobook version of it, and it doesn't work as an audiobook at all.
Actually, how could it? Yeah, there's too many sigils and tarot cards and whatnot.
Yeah, it's like a lot of lists, and it's just like, you know, like when he's describing, say, the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, it's like basically the same thing 4 times, but he has to read the whole thing out. And I think we were kind of talking about this over the last while, and it's my problem with it ultimately is that I don't believe him, and by that I don't mean I think he thinks he's saying true stuff. I just don't believe the concepts, or they don't resonate with me, or it seems almost that he's like, he says in times, oh, the first time I met an angel and stuff, so that he has some experience of it, but it also feels that he's going an awful lot by theory and hoping that, you know, by doing all the stuff that you're getting the effects or something like that, which I find an awful lot from the kind of Golden Dawn-y type stuff, that it seems, I suppose, more people think about it, oh, I just haven't done enough of it yet, or something like that, you know, that they're waiting for the thing. Although, as you say, he's an immensely unique perspective on things, though, in that he did the solitary man in the cave meditating for 15 years, essentially, only, you know, under worse hardship, and not by his choice. But I think the word we come up with was, it seems slightly naive, and I'm not sure that's fully fair, but I don't know. You speak now.
I can't. I remember texting you saying, get the book, it's deadly. Because the intro's brilliant. Yeah. The intro's absolutely brilliant and sets it up lovely. And the last chapter's very good as well, about he's saying kind of what's next. Or he had this, I think Inlel, it must be his HDA, or it's some other, it's the Sumerian head fucking bottle washer he gets in touch with, you know? It's a great term, isn't it? Head bottle washer. So he's like king of the Sumerian gods, even though it has a triplicate like the Celtic stuff. It was what the Celts are supposed to have. Apparently, Enlil, Anu, and the other name, and apparently
Anunnaki.
But Anu is also the name of Dan. The two of the Danan are the people of Danu, but she's also called Anu as well. So some people like to link the Irish gods and myths with the Sumerians, and then you get like some of these weird like Irish nationalist occultists who are like, yeah, well, we're the last of that lineage. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, the fascists. Oh, yeah.
Fascists. We're the last of that lineage, and this is what our Druids were doing. They were shut up. Anyway, oh God, I really wanted to like the book more than I did because.
Because at one stage you were going, I think we're going to have a full, 180-degree shift on Angels, when you were reading the first couple of chapters.
I did at the start of it, and then I worked it because I suppose buying the book, I was hopeful that it would be like a lot about the lore of the Angels and who each of them kind of are and what they do.
Yeah.
Like there's that kick-ass angel, Metatron.
Metatron, yeah.
Yeah, who isn't the Optimus's prime lover or whatever, bad guy. Yeah. Opposite
Megatron.
Megatron and Metatron. There's Metatron. But Metatron does have this cool story. He's supposed to be like Enoch. When Enoch went to heaven, God was like, you know what? You're so fucking cool, Enoch. Making you like my head bottle washer of the angels. And here's a whole army of angels. And like, because, obviously I'm reading a lot of the Kabbalah. So there are the archangels of the Kabbalah, and then there are their like horde of army angels underneath that, and you can meditate on any of them, and if it works for you, cool, all that. But I thought the book would have been all about them and what they can do. And like what I find frustrating, and it's not just Damien Echols, there's a lot of occult writers as well, is that they'll say like, if you meditate on this, you'll gain insight, you do da. Okay, cool. Can you tell me more about the insight that you had?
Yeah.
Not that I want to have the same insight, but like you're just saying I'm going to have insight. Okay, and what was your experience? And he does that a lot in the book. He's just like, this will happen. Okay, but what exactly happened for you? And he doesn't say. Do you know? And I think I think the book is just fucking screaming out for just an editor, not an editor, because it's well written. It's not actually, it's written okay. There's no mistakes, is what I mean. There's no mistakes.
It's proofread.
So it was proofread. But like, if you just had an editor who was just like, nah, come on, man, put more of yourself into this, rather than just giving us loads of techniques, because the techniques get really, really boring. Like, I don't like ceremonial magic. I have no fucking interest in it. Even though I'll read the Telema stuff and some of the Golden Dawn stuff. And, that's kind of cool. But you put it into the Chaos Magic thing, you might try it that way. But, like, where he's just doing these, like... It's just the same thing over and over again, except that there's more bits added to some of them because you might get to meet other angels. And it's just like, well, so why are you teaching me all this arson about stuff with the pussy angels? Give me the fucking hardcore shit, man. I want to talk to Metatron. I want to talk to God here. Who are these little angels with the tarot? Go away from
Raphael with his little healing abilities. Go away. I want war and pestilence.
But you know what I mean? Like,
I get you.
I'm like,
I think it's ultimately it's a reference
I'm
book,
having a laugh, but I'm just like, I don't know, like, why am I feeling let down? I don't know Damien Echols. I've watched I watch his videos on YouTube. I don't pay for his Patreon. I just bought the book and thought, okay, he's an interesting guy. Let's see what he has to say. And I just thought there would have been more history, more lore, more oomph to it, rather than just, this will happen. Will it really happen? Why? What happened to you? It doesn't explain enough for me.
Because that's the thing I was badly pointing at, I think, in that it seems to be written in theory, in that he's still hoping to get these insights, that he might necessarily have had them, like there's that kind of, because he's not giving the feedback of, this is what happened to me. When you look at something which, as we talked about for the spoils thing.
Like, he does and he doesn't, because he'll say that, like, okay, so a year in solitary confinement or whatever, and I'd done this thing for every day, and at the end of it helped me because da. Okay, cool, you mentioned that. Okay, give us some more. Tell us some more about, like, what changed in your mind or what changed about your surroundings, because just saying that something happened and leaving it at that point, it's like, whoa, man, what the fuck,
Yeah, I think, as we were saying again in the private messages, that the blood of the saints and the urn and desert of the roads is kind of spoilt us, in that's what you need, like, that's what we're looking for in a book. If someone's if you're going to talk about these type of things, tell us it. And Chapman and Barford completely do, like, they're very open about their experiences. And there's a very short section at the end of each book that is kind of like, and here's a couple of rituals for you if you want to try it. It's all experience. Whereas I think what the Eccles book is, it's going to sit on your shelf mostly, and they go, oh, what's the ritual of the hexagram? And you look it up, it's going to be mostly reference, you know? And that's not really great because you can just Google that, you know? I mean, he hasn't his own twist in any of these things. It's literally, you know, not even rewriting, transcribing the Golden Dawn rituals, you know, with a slight bit of commentary, possibly. And the further the book goes, the less commentary there is.
Yeah. I thought it was going. I just thought I was going to like it. After the intro, I thought I was going to like it a lot more than I did. I mean, like, I don't have any problem with, like, taking the tarot card, because he does that. He shows all of the tarot cards, I think, and, like, their corresponding angels, and, like, you can take that tarot from the Rider-Waite deck, whatever it's called.
Pamela Goldsmith.
Yeah, and hippopotami, yeah. Octopotami tarot deck. And yeah, take that and think about that angel and what their gift is or whatever, what their power is, and meditate on that. And sure, for work, yeah, go for it. Fuck it, there's no harm in it at all. But it's just, I thought there'd be a bit, just kind of more about them, you know. But then again, there doesn't seem to be all that many books about angels.
Well, there
are lots of books about them, but there's not that many which are like, right, this is the Catholic's Bible on the angels and what they do and how they became the angels and what they were doing before they were angels and That's, I mean, I don't know. Maybe
there's plenty of, like, kind of new age angel-y books, but it all comes down to, I suppose, a list of, and Jim the Angel, he's really good at gardening. So if you're doing some gardening, invoke Jim the Angel, and you kind of go, I'm sure Jim the Angel has better things to do than, you know, me being good. See this lavender plant, Jim? What's the story? It's kind of drooping here. What do you reckon?
I always had that when I was growing up with sayings and people say, yeah, pray to this fella to get that thing. I'm like, I don't feel like I should be bothering him at all. Like, he's saying he's had a total shit life and he got rewarded. He's getting blowjobs from angels up there now.
Or not.
He doesn't need my fucking shit. Like, I lost my keys.
Oh yeah, St. Anthony, poor man. Like, he's like that meme of St. Anthony. Find your own fucking stuff, dude. Jesus Christ.
I mean, I don't want to shit on the book because I think he's nice and cool and, like, he's quite intense, but I'd still like to have a pint with him, kind of fella, you know?
Yeah.
But
and he's a lovely beard.
But he totally doesn't straighten. Yeah, he didn't say which angel he invokes to straighten his beard, because no one has a beard that straight. That's impossible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so straight. Like, you could put a fucking level and a ruler to it, and you could plumb your house off it. It's so straight. It's amazing. I don't know how
it's great beard. He should write a book on beards. Beard maintenance with the angels.
He's often saying, oh yeah, I spend like 8-10 hours a day doing magic. Yeah, that's to get your beard right, man. The hell, you know? And of course, like, all the convoluted, like, there's just one thing that's, like, you're doing, like, hexagram rituals and pentagram rituals, and you're on four corners of your fucking room, and then you're back in the middle, and then you're at your altar, and it's just, how do you get that done? Like, you know, can he not just sit in a circle and just go, Raphael, give us a hand.
Yeah.
All right, hello, are you there? Oh, there you are. How's it going?
Yeah.
You well? You know, like, that's, I mean.
But see, that is the difference between ceremonial and chaos magic. That's, like, I mean, whereas the ceremonial people go that, you know, this is the way you know, talk to angels, or this is the way you talk to demons, or whatever it is, where, you know, and there's something to be said in it too, because, like, how many chaos magicians are actually talking to angels, you know, like, it does, just because you go, oh, we'll try their own way, the big kind of thing is, if it works, and you have to find a way that works, and maybe, I don't know, maybe, like, it seems to work for him in certain different ways. Like, he says he definitely met an angel in solitary confinement, but he doesn't describe it. He doesn't describe, was it in his head, was it an actual...
That's another thing as well, is that, like, he'll describe these different rituals for, like, different sets of angels, we'll say. That's the easiest way to explain it. And he'll say, oh, this was great for this. And then the next page, or next few pages, will be a different ritual for, like, a stronger invocation of different angels. And oh yeah, this is great for this. Okay, so why did you bother with the first one if this is more powerful? Like, there's no point to the first. Why are you telling us?
Well, it's a possibility that you say that you have to build up your power or something like that. That you start with lesser banishing rituals, and then when you've, you know, a more cleaner astral body or something.
There is that, but for some of them, it's like, yeah, well, obviously, why? Like, it's just this is the same thing again. I don't know.
I think. I mean, I'm going to recommend this book to anyone who's getting into ceremonial magic and wants a good reference book on the angels and And same as High Magic, exactly the same, but it's definitely a beginner book. It's from Sounds True, so you're aiming at the essentially middle class America, possibly predominantly female audience. That's like what Sounds True kind of is, that you want, what's her name, Tommie, whatever. I mean, there's a million kind of different stuff she's on, but that's kind of what you're aiming at. But it's good for what it is. It's just, I think our problem is it's not what we're looking for. It's not the approach that we have towards it. If you like Donald Michael Craig's book, the 13 Lessons, whatever it's called, you'll like this one. Or if you like the Golden Dawn stuff, you're going to like this.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you'd like it. If you like, I think the Golden Dawn stuff would be much more serious. Not that it's not serious, but much more. What's the word I'm looking for? In depth.
Oh sure, yeah. Like when I treat this as a primer to get into, Israeli Regardie's Golden Dawn.
Here I was trying to do his middle pillar meditation during the week, and there's not that many middle pillar meditation videos on YouTube, but some of them are absolutely dog shit. They're terrible. And then there's two with Israel. Israel is the name. Israel.
Yeah.
Israel.
Yeah.
Regardie.
Yeah.
Isn't it Regardie?
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, so sit down in your chair. What? And he was like, oh, come on, West Ham. I was like, no, don't have that accent. All right, now we're going to invoke the angels. Yehulah, Israel. I was like, well, come on, how can I meditate with such a comedic accent like that? Like, I'm just going to have to do my own. I'm going to have to get this right down myself and do my own thing. And your man, Dave, what's his name? Not Michael Schumacher. David Shoemaker from the Live in Tolima.
Oh yeah.
Telema.
Love the way your brain got to that.
He has one as well, a middle pillar one. And it's the same thing. He's doing his normal accent, everything's going totally fine. And then he goes,
I know, yeah.
Shut the fuck up and just use your normal voice. Like, oh, well, I know now, the people are, yes, but you have to vibrate it. Fuck off. I do what I want. Just say
it's
the
funny
names.
in the audiobook that Damien does do the vibrate, but it's like a, and it's vibrated like this, and you're expecting like, oh, so when he comes, oh, come on, Damien, come on.
So you can't win, like. You take the fucking Georgian. There's that band I put a link to. What are they called?
The metal thing.
They do this. They were a Polish black metal band, but they do their. I saw them live once, and they do their sets like in a church setting with these Gregorian, and there's all these in their altar gear, and it's amazing. What are they called? Not a big.
Hold on, I have Discord open here so I can check it. You put it in music, did you?
Yeah, music. Yeah, what the hell? They're really, really good, but and they. I'm not too sure if they sing in Polish or Ukrainian, but all of the text that they do is in this old Cyrillic Ukrainian churchy type vibe, and they're pretty cool.
Pakon Raskol by Batushka, that is it?
Batushka.
Oh, Batushka.
Yeah. I was married in one of those, they're called Serkiev, Ukrainian Orthodox churches, and they're amazing. There's loads of them down where my parents and all live.
Is that the ones where for the communion, like to give out spoons of meat? I
know, but they're all gone. But their churches,
right.
There was a war between them after World War II, so their churches are still there. And Catholics kind of just said, "Oh yeah, we'll have that because you burnt down our one, so we'll take in your one." So, but
eye for an eye.
Oh yeah. So, but obviously all the art and stuff is there, and they're fucking deadly. The church we got in had a thing from the government as well, that was a bat sanctuary. So like we're getting married, the bats flying around and all kind of stuff. And
nice.
I'm fucking Bruce Wayne, baby. Yeah. But like, back to his book. Get the book. I think it could have been better than what it is, but maybe the next book will be better than this.
It was interesting that he talked about High Magic in that he didn't actually write it, in that he sat in a room and talked, and then it was transcribed. Because he found it when he came out of prison that he couldn't write. That was very...
It's mad, isn't it?
Mad, but I can kind of go, right, I suppose it's understandable and stuff like that. So I think, I don't know, I was going to say maybe he should make more allowances for his book, but that's not fair on him either, because that's treating him differently, because of his, I suppose, his life experience. I think it's as good as an Angel primer book a Golden Dawn style ceremonial magic as you get. Like, I mean, it's just not what I want. It's not what I'm into.
Yeah.
And but if I was, then everything I wanted to know about it as a primer is in it.
Well, I went into it after the first chapter of thinking, yeah, I'm into this. I'm going to be into this, and then it lost me then because it just didn't go deep enough into it for me. So, yeah, okay, it's decent as a first step off. Maybe I'll get more and more into it but then again, it'd be something like you'd find the 10 angels you like the most and talk to them through your meditation or whatever. That's what I would do if I got into this kind of stuff. You know, I don't think I will, because I was trying to ask questions and stuff like, okay, is a HGA an angel or is it something bigger? And yeah, I was on the Telema subreddit, and they were like, in fairness, there was one guy and he was like, no, look, it's not an angel, because I had forgotten about this. Crowley wrote that, like, he came up with the HGA thing because it's a ridiculous idea.
Ah, yeah, he uses it anyway. I don't know if he came up with it, but he uses it anyway.
Yeah, well, it had been around before, and he took the name because he thought, well, this is a ridiculous idea, and if anyone hears that someone is trying to invoke a holy guardian angel, they just think, oh, that guy's crackers, so we'll leave him alone, kind of thing. And this was the idea, right? I'll be left alone so I can do this for whatever the 1.5 thing that they used to do it. But to tell him...
Also, Crowley didn't finish it. That has to be pointed out too.
Yeah, but he already had the IWAS.
But I think there's a thing with IWAS that he when that happened in 1904, and the Book of the Law was channeled or whatever it was, he kind of forgets about it for years. It's left in the attic for years, and he doesn't really make much of it. It wasn't...
That's mad.
It took him then, for whatever reason, years later, it became more... When he found it or it came back into his head to do it. So he probably... wasn't aware that IWAS was the HGA at that point, if he had forgot all about it.
Funny,
but I'm sure, I mean, I love talking about Crowley because it's just, Telemites are so pedantic and they just love to, email.
I know, you've said this to me before, but the guys on that subreddit are really helpful. And anytime I've put questions, they're, people get back fairly quickly, and they're decent with information. They're not... I'd say of all the posts I put up there, I've had one kind of aggressive thing, but everyone else was like, yeah, you're grand, don't worry about it. But like, yeah, so your man that got back to me was like, yeah, no, this is something, this is bigger than an angel. I'm like, okay. And then I did more digging into it then, and I found out kind of what I was looking for. So, and I had sent... There was an AMA with Echols as well. I sent a question to them. I was like, okay, so you have Angels, Archangels, and HGA. You have your HGA, which is the higher ranking, because if you have the HGA, then what's the point in wasting spending time with Angels, kind of thing, you know?
Did you get an answer to that?
No, of course I didn't. You know, but as well, like, that's the thing in the book as well. He has the thing about the HGA and crossing the abyss. He has it arseways.
He has it the wrong way. Yeah,
he has it upside down. Yeah.
Which is interesting because he's kind of talking about he has the HGA and then talking. He's saying, "Oh, crossing the abyss was first," and I was kind of going, I don't know. It just seemed. There was a thing you said before where you were watching an interview with him where you kind of said that he was, I don't know, not lying exactly, but that he was being somewhat disingenuous. There's a kind of a feeling of that undercurrent, as if there's a bit of spoof going on somewhere in it that I just can't. That could be just my prejudice because I'm. I'm in rational mode these days and just go, oh, it's all rubbish. But, so I just can't have any of it. But I'm not confident in his statements of fact. I'll put it that way. That he's genuinely experienced some of the things. Because if he did, I think there would be more talking about it. Because he's talking more from technical. But come back to, I know Alan Chapman is just so easy to go back to, but compare it to Blood of the Saints, which is the polar opposite kind of a book, and I definitely believe Alan Chapman had the experiences. Whereas there still seems some sort of, I'm repeating myself now at this point, some sort of hope or spoofness or I don't know to Damien Echols, but that could be again just his. Yeah.
I wouldn't go as far as spoof, but
no, spoof is the wrong word. It's it's too strong a word.
That's just semantics. But I agree with you on having the whole, because even if you look into any of the Golden Dawn stuff and like that, like they are Telema, it's nowhere mentioned that crossing the abyss comes before the HGA. Just nowhere, because the HGA is there to help you cross the abyss. That's the whole idea. So it's like, well,
or even the whole thing of the HGA, that leaves you to cross the bit yourself and to make
Yeah,
the
yeah,
crowns
yeah,
on,
yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, surely he knows that. So does he have this arseways? So what the fuck is going on here? You know,
Yeah.
like honestly, the book is left me with more fucking questions than answers. You know,
And on a really annoying audiobook thing as well is that he basically says a number of times you should just buy this book because the pictures are in it. It's
yeah,
like,
but I bought the audiobook, man.
yeah,
Give
and
me
you
a
know, most
PDF.
audiobooks come with PDFs if there's important pictures.
Yeah.
Or the thing you talked about before where John Ronson does a phone in. So this picture, it's just me.
What's wrong with your logic stuff? Why are you losing your way?
Oh, with the rational thing, it's just that the whole thing just firmly situated, as I was saying to you, in a Kabbalistic sense. I'm in Hod, which is the rational kind of thing. No, I know exactly what it is. It's from having an open mind towards the magic thing and cult and seeing that there's definitely something in it, and then seeing what happened during the lockdown with people and when conspiracy became mainstream and just how easily we are all sucked into believing things that seem right to us. You know, this whole relying too much on feeling and too much on intuition rather than, you know, actually think about it. And in, like, say, in 40 Seraphims, the seer card is much more popular than the thinker, with a H, card, because as a kind of a community, I suppose, we were drilled into us to be more intuitive, you know, more feeling, more, and I think that's kind of led to a bit of an imbalance, particularly in me, where you end up with thinking that, oh, this feels wrong, that it's objectively true. You know, or this feels right, it's objective. And I kind of, when you see the ludicrousness of some of the things that people believe, good people, intelligent people, smart people, I just had massively questioned myself on my own bullshit and my own kind of, well, hold on. If these people are believing this obvious to me bullshit, then what bullshit am I believing?
Yeah.
And so that kind of swings the tension back to,
There's a thing about trusting instinct and trusting gut feeling, and that should give you pause. And it's that, like, everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people suffer from bad posture from the way we sit, stand.
As I straighten myself.
No, and so the question is, okay, if this is bad for me, why does my body do it? And it's because it's the easy option.
Right.
So instinct, yeah, listen to your gut, but sometimes listening to your gut your gut has learned to take the easy option.
Sure, yeah.
So people don't know that. People think that, oh, there's some esoteric book and all these teachers tell me, trust my gut, trust my gut, trust my gut. Well, the problem is something wrong with your gut. Your gut isn't performing at 100% because you've had maybe bad or lazy behaviours over your life. So, you know, sit up straight.
Yeah, and I suppose the thing is, you'd never ask that girl out if you were just trusting your gut, because you'd be, you know, that your gut would be saying, oh, just take the easy thing and don't. She might say no, blah, blah, blah. You know, you do have to challenge yourself. And I often find that we can confuse nervousness with, oh, this is bad for me. This isn't right.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever it is that you can just kind of go, sometimes you just have to go, shut up and do it. You know, you know, the whole thing of steel yourself. And I don't know, it's just, it's a tough one because, you know what I mean? You shouldn't believe everything everyone says. You know, you should have your own opinions about these world and all that. And as we said in the conspiracy things, there's definitely conspiracies, there's things, it's just hard. But it's just a kind of, and I've done it before, and where I swung very rational and even, you know, became mostly atheistic in my outlook. And I know it's just it's a swing back, but it's kind of like I suppose, in a sense of banishing, where you kind of take on all these ideas and then you go, let's really look at them and see what's in it, and then you come back and, you know, you keep this kind of thing. But I've been balls deep in Alan Chapman's Magia stuff the last week, and so that's definitely I'm coming the other way. That's the pendulum swing is going back, that I'm going into it. But it's just, I don't know, I found the lockdown and the pandemics and the whole thing very disenchanting, I suppose is the best word. It disenchanted the world an awful lot for me, which is hard to come out of. But, you know, I suppose it's a group initiation or a world initiation in some form that, you know, you have to look at this stuff. You know, you have to look at your own bullshit. You have to look at our societal bullshit. And seeing that the opposite, what you thought was the opposite. So you had the mainstream, which was the bad guys, and then you had the kind of New Age magic conspiracy things, which you were meant to see the good guys, I suppose, or at least that's the way my worldview was. And then when you see that the mainstream and the conspiracy and all that are the same pendulum, and you go, oh, hold on, where does that leave me? You know, and that's the biggest insight, I suppose, from coronavirus.
But it could be like okay, it's a reaction, but it's like this kind of maybe there's something in yourself that's preparing yourself for a break from that way of thinking, and how to explain it, kind of like you're preparing yourself to just go, right, I'm off social media because you guys are too weird and I need to do my own kind of thing. You know? Kind of thing, like. Yeah,
I can definitely, because I've had many kind of mini, I suppose, awakening experiences, and I'm stealing that word. It's not an awakening experience in the way that, like Alan Chapman or Duncan Barford, although possibly maybe it is, where discovering the massive victim playing that I do, discovering the kind of emasculation that I've allowed happen from friends and family growing up, and how that has kind of affected things. Just kind of, and you can feel them coming. And I remember particularly the victim one felt like there was a train coming at me, and I go, what? I don't know what this is, but there's something coming. And then one night I was just lying on the bed, and it was like it hit me, and it was all, and I went, holy fuck, and you just see it. But it's like, it's not just that it was coming out of nowhere. I was working on it, you know. I was working the thing. So I can, and it's kind of, and I can feel it right now as well, that before all that, there's a contraction starts happening, where you really get in and things start slowing down. I'll notice things like work will start slowing down, in like sales will start slowing down, or there'll be contractions in other ways, and I can feel that happening. So I'm assuming at some point that the freight train is on the way to me.
The HDA man, she's up there and she's just taking a deep breath. She's going,
here we go.
It's coming.
But it's funny because I had some really cool Ganesha sinks that recently that are.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
That are, it's like, these are the things that when I can't, and I know that you can easily explain them away. They're all coincidence and all that stuff.
There are no coincidences.
I know, yeah.
None,
well,
I'm convinced
Young
of that
says
now.
there is.
The old Spud would say bullshit, coincidences. The new Spud is like, nah, no way.
But so Ganesh, or Ganesh, or whatever way you want to pronounce the word, he's always been around the last couple of years, and kind of, I've a good kind of, I like him as an archetype or as a spirit or whatever he is. He seems to have a real quality to him, but whether that's in my head or not. So he's always been about, he's so many books or magic books, or, like even I'm reading From Hell again by Alan Moore, and it's dedicated to Ganesha, like which I didn't realise and stuff. And of course Alan Chapman talks about it in Advanced Magic for Beginners and all these kind of different things. And Lon Milo the Ket has in one of his talks, he's a video just gone through the Tot deck, the Crowley deck, and he talks about Ganesha in it and stuff like that. And he seems to work well with magicians. Whatever, but it's been there, and I've loads of all the kind of idols I have around the house and the office. I've more Ganeshas than anything else. I really like the whole idea of this gentle, loving, happy God who could fucking go through anything like that. That he would totally, like, he has this Ganesha, but like obstacle remover. He's the badass. Like, also because he was the person who put the obstacles there in the first place. So he's a trickster too. Anyway, so. We were thinking of whatever we were going with the wee man. It was his birthday, and what we were going to do. And we were going to different places, and we were going to go down to SeaWorld in Bray. And I was thinking, that's kind of close to where the Ganesha park is. I was thinking, maybe we should go. And we went, well, it's a bit out of the way, blah blah. And he goes, all right, so maybe it's not a good idea. And then, like an hour later, Abraxas on Discord sends me a link. Goes, do you know this place?
Nah.
And it was the link to the park. And I went, all right, hold on. It goes, it's funny you should say that, Brax. I was thinking about going on Saturday, and I said it to Vanessa, and he goes, right, well, I think we should go. And so we went, and it's a brilliant place. Everyone should go. It's like, it's not really a place for kids, and he says if you have to bring your kids, do. But it's like you start off by going into a vagina with thorns or teeth. It's like it's an adult park, and if you see any of the photos I took, there's some very strange statues. So and it opens out in the Ganesh, loads of things. There's like an Irish Ganesh with pint of Guinness and a hat and stuff. But loads of stuff. And then you go on this journey round the park, and that's where the picture I sent you of the forest bathing thing is from. So anyway, come out and I think it was, but 2 days later, I was going. It's very interesting, that sync of Abraxas, whatever, and the whole thing. And then I remembered that the day we went was Ganesh Kurti with his festival, his day of the year. It's like his Saints Day. And I went, all right. So I was being called there, and there was no question about me not getting there on that particular day. And I went, right, okay, but that's a proper synchronicity in that it's personally meaningful.
Have you gone back through the photos? Is there anything that you've noticed going back a second time?
No, I don't know. I haven't. No, yeah, maybe I should. But what I noted, what I took from it was like, right, let's pay attention to Ganesha. Let's he's turned up, or he's rather than me. And it's the constant thing, I suppose, with magicians is trying to get their attention, which is that statement. I think it's Christopher Knowles come up with it, but he's trying to get my attention, and I feel so. What do you want, man? What's up? Hey, Big G. But it's an interesting month that it's just that there's too many, I suppose, variables in it. Like if you had kind of thought about it and then, we ended up and, someone meant to send you a message, you go, right, that's one. But when there was a couple of different things that happened at the exact one day of the year. Like,
let me see, you've, so there's like choosing to go there or not go there, that's a 50% chance.
Yeah.
And then choosing not to go there, that you chose, that's another 50%, so that's 1 in 4. Then Abraxas, then that's a chance of 1 in 8. And then the last one you said was the Holy Day.
Yeah.
So that's a 1 in 16 chance of you going there.
Yeah, and not taking into consideration that the only reason it came up was because we had decided we were going to SeaWorld, which was just kind of, and I was actually finessed. That was her. She came up with that, and I was like, while we're somewhat in the area, which we weren't. It's about an hour away. It's like, there's something to take notice. Them type of things is why I never fully pendulum swing to Richard Dawkins. You know what I mean? Like, it's just because I go, no, there's something, and even if it is me putting the personal meaning on it, it's personally meaningful to me. And so, that's my life. So that it's take notice.
I have a vagina teeth story, but I think we'll keep it. We'll keep it for another time. All right.
Yeah, you're probably not allowed to mention it. Giving.
I know I can. Yeah, no, I can. Yeah, no. It's long before I get. We'll keep it for another time. That's great, good. Look into it more, man. Go back over your photos, or maybe what you posted on the internet or something that day. You might find some other little sign that says,
Yeah.
Because we've both had help on Discord from someone who we won't name.
Yeah.
Like helped me with like dream interpretations and.
We can name him as Beanot. We just can't give his real name.
Yeah, so like he helped me with some stuff. He's like, "How's it going?" I'm like, "Yeah, this happened. Okay, let's spend some time with this." And he helped me kind of decode the symbols in my dreams and all that kind of stuff. Really fucking helpful stuff. So
yeah, it was. He said he did it. It's the Magia binding thing is what he did with you. So in case you didn't know, that's what he was doing with you.
All right.
Yeah. So
nice.
That's the process that you can learn and do.
Yeah, it's great because it's like I wrote down the dreams and I remember them somewhat, but then like really, it's just gonna sound like a stupid thing to do, but I never bothered looking deep into the symbols of the dream because now from reading the little bit of Jung that I have, like a jug of water doesn't just mean it's a jug of water. Like you drill down into like what the meaning of a chalice is. Chalice can be like a vagina with teeth.
Yeah.
Symbol of a woman and all this kind of stuff, and really drilling down into like the symbols behind the symbols in your dreams, and then coming up with this like meaning, and you're like, whoa, holy shit! Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
okay,
that's what that is.
Yeah, why didn't I do this? Why is there no one telling me that the dream interpretation is that instead of like, oh, well, you had a dream about your teeth falling out, so that means that the house is going to fall. No, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Do you know? Because that's the common one. If you like dream interpretation and Google what you have, you come up with nonsense. But if you do the Jungian way of going back through like all of the symbols and what each of them behind, then you'll get something that's like, wow, really deep and meaningful for you. It's great.
Yeah, well, that's the teeth thing is like the common dream that everyone kind of, I suppose, looks up, and it means ruin and disaster and all that. I mean, if you have a completely different relationship to your teeth than I have, surely teeth falling out is like, if you don't care about your teeth, then your teeth falling out isn't going to be ruined. It's just, for God's sake, a hassle. So, so you have to be, I suppose, but at the same time, you have archetypical symbols. That so that you have to transverse, I suppose, both worlds of personal meaning and not objective meaning, because there's no such thing as objective meaning.
No, well, that's it. Well, that's the Jung's thing. There's the conscious, and then there's the individual conscious, subconscious, and then there's the collective unconscious. Unconscious,
yeah.
Mad. I'm looking for. I'm going away on holiday now soon tomorrow. But I'm looking forward to get back, because as soon as I get back, I can order some of the Jung books. I'm looking into, because there's no point in ordering them away, because they'll come and then I don't know.
Stay down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started on because Bino was telling me that he was listening to Cosmic Trigger on Audible, and I knew that the first one was on it, which is Robert Anton Wilson's semi-autobiography, kind of, not really though. And there is 3. There's Cosmic Trigger 1, 2, and 3, and I have the books, but I never actually got around to reading 2 and 3. But it turns out the Cosmic Trigger 2 came out in July on Audible, so we've been listening to that. It's really good, because the guy who does it, obviously because Robert Anton Wilson's dead, that he can't narrate his own books anymore. But the guy who did it does a great impression without it being. It's kind of a similar vibe rather than trying to do an impression of Robert Anton Wilson. Right. So it works well. Similar accent, similar kind of approach, but he's not doing an impression. But it's interesting. It's just reminded me when you were saying that Crowley was on about saying, "I'll call it the Holy Guardian Angel because it's so ridiculous that people wouldn't believe it." Robert Anton Wilson has a similar idea where he was talking about his contact from some particular entity, and that he went to one fortune teller and it said it was a particular thing, and so he got syncs around that.
This is the Irish bard or something, isn't it?
The bard, yeah. And then he went that he got the next one was that he has a load of syncs around Harvey, which is the puka from the film Harvey, but it's also that Irish kind of shape-shifting trickster spirit, whatever. He says, so he landed on Harvey and kept that one because for the similar reasons, just that because no one in their right mind would believe that that's actually true, but it explains exactly the kind of experience or encapsulates it in with the trickstery, funny but seriousness of it. That it's like the sync he gets in it is very weird. Robert Anton is fabulous at putting connections together, but without getting, he can get ridiculous with it. But he sees that the humor in it, that it he doesn't take it tremendously serious. That he could but it's also not. It's not dismissing it. You can make connections. They're legitimate, proper. You go, oh, that's really interesting. Down to in Harvey, there is a guy who is an orderly in the hospital who's called Mr. Wilson, and there's a thing that happens in it that it's as if the TV or the film was talking directly to Robert Anton Wilson. That you go, it's an interesting. He also thought it was like aliens from Alpha Centauri was talking to him as well, which is that's, I suppose, that's where the original Grant Morrison, I suppose, took that track from, because he does mention that he had read Robert Anton Wilson before he had the Kathmandu experience. Okay,
I see. What was something else you wanted to tell me?
Oh, the KLF.
Yeah, the KLF.
Right, I have a kind of, if it's right, it takes a bit of the enchantment away from the burning of the $1 million pound. So when they talk about it in the interviews, they talk an awful lot about it, whose money was it, and they say it's the K Foundation's money rather than their money. And so it was also the same money was used in previous art installations. That one where they hammered the $1 million to a board and then tried to sell it for $500,000.
For $500,000, yeah.
So my kind of theory on it is that it was money that they had to, as if it was, if me and you that we're going to do a documentary, and the arts office says, here's 10 grand to help you with the documentary. But we have to spend that 10 grand on the documentary. We have to do something with it that comes under the guise of documentary. So we couldn't just, buy a new car with it or whatever. It's not really our money, but it's our money. So I think the way they're saying that it was the K Foundation's money is that the money existed in that kind of it's not really our money to go and buy a house with a rent. It's something we have to do an art project with it. Yeah. And that's like, well, I can't think of it because they wanted to end the K Foundation. So it's just like, let's just fucking burn it then. So I think it's kind of, which it takes, when it's one step removed from being their actual personal money, I can kind of understand a bit more, well, the kind of threat in one sense leaves it. That's my kind of current theory on it.
Yeah.
That,
I still think they were trying to buy back their souls.
I like your theory better.
Because they had that ceremony on the island, and it was really weird. And then after that, that's when they became like fucking mega famous. And I think they kind of realized, shit, we've sold out.
Yeah.
We've sold our souls here, like. And I think, and that's why they did that alienating Brit Awards thing to piss off everyone. And I love the dub. It's on YouTube. The audience clapping is obviously dubbed. Cheering, so because everyone is sitting there going, "What? What the fuck was that like?"
Yeah.
And I think they were like, "Nah, look, well, the money's tainted." Well, I suppose a bit close to what you're saying. Yeah, the money's tainted. We can't have it. It's
Same idea. I suppose.
It's just going to bring us bad luck or whatever. Because it wasn't us who made it. It's the monsters we became as we became fucking pop stars.
I wonder how many times over the years that does that twinge of.
I'd say every single morning they wake up.
Right, but with an interview with them, we're going like, you can get the money back if you just go to the what do you call it, the what's the place where they make money, the Mint or the Royal Mint, whatever, and just explain to them, and you can work out the serial numbers and you just get the money back, and then he goes, yeah, but what's the fucking point of that?
We have £1 million, man. That's the fucking point of it. You know what I mean?
So now they have a brick of the ashes.
Yeah.
In that blue container. That's
strange, man. I've been buying the book for people though, because it's just that such a great laugh reading it.
Yeah.
And it's particularly for like musician friends or whatever. You send it because it's like, yeah, read this. You'll want to be in a band again because this is mad. It's just
I think that was kind of the book that really put you over the edge into the woo territory. Because you're like kind of dipping your toe into it a bit, but after that you're like, yeah, balls deep, here we go. I'm into this now.
I'm in. Okay, you got me now. So yeah, that's the way it is. We're not going to do this film, are we? No point. Because I wanted to ask one question with the yoga to you, and it's that we were going to do a film called Enlighten Up, but we'll hold off till next week.
Yeah.
It was just like I suppose it's a question more for Vanessa more than you really. Like when she's watching stuff like this, is she like, oh God?
Well, remember,
she's a proper yoga teacher. Like.
Yeah, she's the yoga teacher. No, she's. It's the good question, and it's one of the main questions of the Enlightenment Up: is can you have yoga without the spirituality, or can you just have the physical thing? And she's definitely more into the physical elements of it. So she's not. It's not that she doesn't believe the woo or anything. She's just, I don't care. It's that kind of, it's making me happier. I don't want to have to worry about enlightenment or whatever. And she makes a huge point. She says that the enlightenment and awakening, she says, I don't want it. Because anyone I know, say in documentaries or people she's met or whatever, they're so serious. They're so joyless that, she says, what I love about yoga is the kind of, I love the fun element of it. I like having a bit of crack. Not in that, let's all have a laugh. But, not where it's like you're at school and it's, there's rigid and there's rules and stuff. I don't like, so if she goes to a class or involved in something where it's very serious, she just doesn't go back. But if she's going and, there's a sense of joy in that. She says that enlightenment thing, she says, I wouldn't want it because I wouldn't want to lose that. When you look at people who are, not all, because Alan Chapman's a very funny man, and has good humour, that seems to be a loss of joy. And Stuart Wilde, who I bang on about all the time, he talks about one of the big disease of spirituality is seriousness. That people take it too serious, become too serious, and trying to find that difference between being serious about it, but becoming a bit too Procrustean, I suppose. And too rigid and stuff like that. Well, which is sad because in the end, he kind of fell into that trap. He became very serious and very dark and stuff like that.
See, I don't know anyone who's enlightened. The only people like okay, so Alan Chapman would be from the books. You'd know that. I presume Barford is too, but he doesn't do anything publicly anymore. But he's
writing in a book. He's in a book.
Is he? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's okay. So I remember there was one. What's that channel we were watching for a while? Rebel Wisdom, isn't that right?
Yes. Yeah.
They had a Zen master on. And the interview was mostly about Jordan Peterson, actually. But he was cool, and he was funny, and he was nice, but also in just a kind of different way of thinking about stuff. But coming from the Buddhist type and thing, you know. And then there's obviously that guy that I like at the minute, this Sadhguru. I really like him because he laughs a lot.
Yeah,
and he makes fun of stuff. And I know you don't like Eckhart Tolle. That's his name, the German guy, isn't it?
I don't like his voice. I can't listen to him.
Well, there's clips of him on YouTube as well where he's like, he's just cracking jokes about young people and smartphones, stuff like that. And he does this a lot. Like, I've watched a couple of things as well where he's like...
That just sounds like a typical boomer type thing. Oh, these kids and their phones.
Yes and no, but it's kind of like... I think it's just showing that, like, you know, you can have a sense of humour. You can be enlightened and still have the crack.
But you look at the Dalai Lama and how much he laughs and how silly he can be.
Yeah, but he's a CIA operative, though. You know?
That's true. Yeah, he's not actually enlightened. He's the bad guy.
He's not enlightened. Not at all. He's the Illuminati. He's the top of the Illuminati, so he is. Hidden in plain sight all the fucking time.
I've interacted with people who are awakened.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to deal with that word, who are total and utter assholes. Yeah. So it doesn't.
That's nonsense. How can you be awakened? Well, no, you can obviously still.
Because it has absolutely no, the awakening, the realization obviously does not improve you as a person or your life. I know awakened people who are poor. I know whose lives are falling apart. You know who one. No, I won't tell that because that's not fair. You know, it's just that their lives aren't, because people assume when you're awakened that, you know, you somehow, glow out from the, you know.
But that's not it. It's just the overall acceptance of everything, isn't it? That's my reading now of what
or
is.
The realization of your place in it, or what it is, what's going on. I don't know. I'm not awakened, so I can't. I'm obviously unable to describe. But what people, particularly Alan Chapman, says that it's when you have the realization, whatever, you realize that it was self-evident all along anyway, that, you know, that, and it's just a background, I suppose, thing that you have, like he talks about it in Diorn, where, you know, he keeps checking, is it still there? It's, you know, the way we have, I have anyway, that kind of background hum of general anxiety, and you just go, is that still? Oh, it's still fucking there. Yeah. So it's this background hum of enlightenment going, oh, is the bliss of eternity? Oh, it's still there. Yeah, that's fine.
But I like your man Sadhguru, and there's a few other ones I've kind of seen as well, but I don't remember their names. And what I like about and there's the guy in this Enlighten Up. Towards the end, he has a couple of marks on his forehead, and he's
really good. Yeah.
He's
I really like him.
Enlightened. He's with it.
Absolutely.
He's lovely. But I think what I've noticed that's similar between these yogis anyway is that they all laugh from their belly. And they shake and they go, and I love it. I'm like, he's obviously happy. It's brilliant. So I think maybe they teach them, like, you know, as you become enlightened, then this is how you should laugh, because you're laughing with your whole body and you're actually enjoying it. You're not just some fucking loser on fucking Reddit going, lol.
Because you're not allowed to use emojis on Reddit because you get shot. So it's lol.
You know, lol is like the unfunniest thing. I mean, I wasn't living here very long. It's a good few years ago, obviously. And I was at a party, like a New Year's Eve party, and we were talking away and someone told some joke, and there was this really, really amazingly gorgeous woman there. She was a model by profession, not, you know, fucking Milan or anything like that, but she's a model for shops. Gorgeous. And so there was a joke told, and she stone face, she went, lol.
I'd love to do that.
I was so blown away. Like, I'm still talking about it 10, 12 years later. Like, she actually said lol rather than laughing out loud. And I was just like, what has happened in your life that you are that person that you can't even laugh? You would rather be an internet meme.
I have to say, I have said lol out loud, but I, like, in an ironic way. I know I'm being a twit. You know,
well, she wasn't being ironic. She was like, this was funny. Everyone was laughing, and she just went, lol.
Lol.
I'm like, does she know what that was? I had the ear chewed off Agate for the rest of the night going, does she know what that means? Like, why didn't she laugh? Well, what's going on here? I was having a fucking nervous breakdown because she didn't laugh properly, like
of course,
a human.
LOL does, as we know, mean Lucifer or Lord. So perhaps it was just some sort of satanic ritual that was being performed at that moment, which was the kind of genesis of your road to hell, and this woo-woo was just the lol that was whispered in, Lucifer our Lord. 10 years ago.
That reminds me, I was telling you during the week, I had these two lucid dreams 2 nights in a row that I was walking around on some craggy rocks, as is my want in dreams, and I had the high ground, of course, in case any enemies would come towards me. And then I realised that, shit, I'm awake. And next thing, out of the ground arose this, like, hellish Hellboy. You know when Hellboy goes bad and the horns? Yeah. So like that, just... And it was Satan. And I was like, fuck off! No! Suck my dick! No, I don't want nothing to do with you! No! Go away! No! No! Twice in a row. 2 nights in a row. And I told Aga, and Aga's like, oh, you're afraid of your magic. I'm like, I'm not fucking magic. Get the fuck out of here. She's like, oh, I don't know. You know, well, some weird shit's happening. I don't know what. Anyway, so I told him to fuck off and suck my dick. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, I mean, just, you could have probably chose your language a bit better there in that you suck my dick is an invitation to...
Oh, it is! Oh, what have we done?
Bye!